Sharing is caring, my parents said as my sister pocketed my epilepsy pills again. Stop being so dramatic about your condition. But when I collapsed in family court during our inheritance hearing, the judge ordered immediate medical intervention, and what they found. The bottle was empty again. I stared at the orange prescription container. My hands trembling, not from anger this time, but from the familiar warning signs, the tingling in my fingers, the strange taste in my mouth, the slight disconnect between what my eyes saw and what my brain processed. I'd refilled this prescription just 5 days ago, 60 pills, now nothing but air and my sister's perfume lingering near my dresser. Victoria, I called out, already knowing how this would go. Where are my pills? She appeared in my doorway, leaning against the frame with practiced nonchalance. At 27, 2 years older than me, she still acted like we were teenagers fighting over borrowed clothes. What pills? My Keppra, my anti-seizure medication, the pills that keep me from having grand mal seizures, those pills. She rolled her eyes. God, Natalie, you're so dramatic about your condition. She used air quotes as if my epilepsy was something I'd invented. I had a headache. I took a couple, the bottle is empty. That's 60 pills. Victoria's sharing is caring. My mother's voice rang out from downstairs, sharp and dismissive. She appeared behind Victoria, her face already set in disapproval, directed at me, not my sister. Stop being so selfish. Natalie, selfish. I gripped the empty bottle so hard the plastic cracked. These aren't Advil, Mom, they're prescription anticonvulsants. Without them, I could what my father joined the party. His expression one of tired annoyance. Have one of your convenient episodes. Interesting how they always happen when you want attention. Convenient, as if I chose to have my brain misfire, as if I enjoyed waking up on floors, confused and in pain with people staring, as if I scheduled my seizures for maximum sympathy. The last one happened at work. I said quietly, no family around. Who was I trying to get attention from your co-workers? Obviously, Victoria smirked, probably trying to get out of doing your job. This had been my life since my epilepsy diagnosis at 16. What started as absent seizures, brief moments of zoning out, had progressed to full tonic-clonic seizures. By the time I was 20, the medication controlled them well when I actually had access to it, but in the Porter family, my medical needs were seen as an inconvenience at best, manipulation at worst. Victoria had learned early that she could take my medication without consequences. She sold some to her friends who wanted to get high. Took others herself for the mild, but they gave people without epilepsy. My parents enabled it, insisting I was being dramatic about needing every single pill I need to go to the pharmacy. I said, trying to keep my voice steady. I need an emergency refill. Your insurance won't cover another refill this soon. Mom said you'll have to wait until next month, or Dad added you could stop being so rigid about your medication schedule. Missing a few doses won't kill you, except it could literally. But they'd never listened to my neurologist's warnings. Had rolled their eyes when Dr. Martinez explained about breakthrough seizures and status epilepticus. They decided my epilepsy was just another bid for attention, like when I pretended to need glasses I was severely nearsighted or claimed to have migraines, later confirmed as a comorbidity with my epilepsy. I retreated to my room and called Dr. Martinez's office explaining the situation. Her nurse, Carmen, knew my family's dynamic. Well, Natalie, this is the 4th time this year you need to file a police report for theft of controlled substances. They're my family? I said weakly, they're endangering your life, but I know you won't report them. So here's what we'll do. I'll call in an emergency supply to a different pharmacy, pay cash, keep them somewhere your sister can't find them. I thanked her and hung up. Then looked at my bank balance. $47. The medication would cost at least $200 without insurance. My next paycheck wasn't for a week. That night, I felt it building, the electrical storm in my brain that preceded a seizure. I lay in bed, muscles tense, trying to will it away. Mind over matter, my father always said, as if I could think my way out of a neurological disorder. I made it through the night, but the next day was harder. The aura, that strange feeling of impending doom, followed me like a shadow. My co-workers noticed my trembling hands, my difficulty focusing. Natalie, are you okay? My supervisor James pulled me aside. You look like you did before. I'm out of medication. I admitted my sister took them. I'm trying to get more, but his face darkened. Go home. This isn't safe, and Natalie, you need to do something about your family. But what could I do? I was 25 working retail, barely making enough to cover my expenses while saving for my own place. Moving out meant choosing between rent and medication. Medication, staying met, having medication stolen, but at least having housing the seizure held off for 3 days, 3 days of increasing symptoms of my family mocking my theatrics as I struggled with coordination and speech. Victoria wore my pills on a chain around her neck. She'd made them into some kind of twisted jewelry, drilling holes through the capsules and stringing them like beads. Look, she'd laughed at dinner. I'm wearing Natalie's drama like a necklace. My parents had laughed too. Then came the letter that changed everything. My grandmother, the only family member who'd ever believed my epilepsy was real, had passed away 6 months ago. The estate had finally been settled, and we were all required to appear in family court for the reading of the will and distribution of assets. Grandma left everything to her 4 grandchildren. Equally, Mom said, reviewing the lawyer's letter, including you two and your cousins, Brandon and Amy, what she didn't say, but what we all knew was that Grandma had been wealthy. Her estate was worth over $2 million split 4 ways, that was enough to change any of our lives. Finally, Victoria said, I can quit pretending to look for jobs and actually live. The court date was set for the following Monday. I had no medication, no money for more, and no way to get through what would surely be a stressful day. I called Carmen again, begging for samples, for help, for anything. I'm sorry, Natalie, Dr. Martinez is at a conference, and I can't authorize samples without her. Can you borrow money? Use a credit card. I'd maxed out my credit card on the last emergency refill. My friends had already lent me what they could. I was trapped. Monday arrived with the worst aura I'd ever experienced. Colors seemed too bright, sounds too sharp. My hands shook as I dressed in my only court-appropriate outfit. In the mirror, I could see my pupils were different sizes, a bad sign. Stop making that face. Mom snapped as we drove to the courthouse.